dead.
That's right. 1 week from today, we will celebrate the life of the Star Trek franchise. And you can be a part of it with our Star Trek funeral. Yes, I'm a little out of it today, folks. Today on the show, we've got Hollywood news, plus Justine Bateman will join us in the next 30 minutes. We'll have a conversation with her about all things the Netflix deal, AI, her film festival, Credo 23. We'll discuss it all on Hollywood on the Rocks. Where is he?
Alan! Al!
Hey,
man.
hey, you survived. You're alive.
I survived. We were at the Black Cinema celebration of Black Cinema and TV, part of the CCA. It was a lot of fun, and we'll share pics from that on our social media. Yeah. We've got a lot of work to do today, but I want to remind people about the funeral. So join us a week from today, December 17th. Drinker, the critical drinker, will be on the show. Gary from Nerdrotic will be here. Az from Heel versus Babyface confirmed will drop by. It'll be a minimum 6-hour stream starting at noon Pacific time, December 17th, with all your YouTube favorites. It's the Avengers Endgame of YouTubers, and we're coming together to celebrate Star Trek and say goodbye to the once beloved franchise. Alan and I have costumes.
Yes, I just got mine, so I'm ready to go.
And it's not straight Sulu. Is that true?
It is straight Sulu. I'm doing straight Sulu. By the way, it is not the Avengers Doomsday of YouTubers. It is the Avengers Endgame, as you say.
yeah, exactly. Just a lot of YouTubers. So let's say hi to people here and let's get the show started. All right.
MK Solid. I told Justine that we should go back in time and stuff her brother into an 80s locker, and she liked the comment. LOL.
Well, I've met her and had conversations with her. She has a sense of humor.
Yes. Kenneth Marchant. I love movies. I love movie business, but I don't like modern Hollywood. Any advice to start into filmmaking? Maybe YouTube shorts.
Yeah, just start making films.
Yeah.
Like literally just start making films. There are other good channels out there that talk about go to the Film Threat Interviews channel. We don't plug that enough. The Film Threat Interviews channel is filled with tons of interviews with lots of good advice. Other channel I would recommend is Film Courage, and Indie Film Hustle is another really good channel to get inside baseball tips on making movies, and start with shorts. Yeah. If you could make a 1-minute movie, you can make a 5-minute movie, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 90-minute feature. You're on the road.
Yeah. Don't start with a feature. Just get used to telling a short story.
Make a short.
Make it short. D. Goodhart. Good afternoon, everyone. Looking forward to the Justine Bateman interview.
Very soon.
Yes. Uncle Remus. Alan, would you rather be working in a coal mine singing penis to vagina?
Alan could do that.
Yeah. Pilgrim Media for 2. Will there be any Asian people in the stream? Yes, there will be one who'll be online for 6 hours minimum.
I think we're going to get Phil too. Project Egg Roll.
Oh, Phil will do it? Okay.
Yeah, Phil. I'm everyone that we know in our sphere. They're all invited. And for a limited time, you can get the shirt celebrating the event. It's the final frontier. of course, available in red shirts, blue shirts, gold shirts, all of our, and we even have the mug. It's film represents the final frontier of funeral for a franchise. $11.99. That's cheap. I'm getting one.
Yep.
I gotta
And
order. I don't know.
wear the red shirt at your own peril.
Right. But these are available for a limited time to celebrate the life of the film of the Star Trek franchise. Thank you for your super chat there. There'll be 2 Asians potentially.
Yes.
And Lord Thothy says,
like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, Instagram, and buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
That's great. Go there and check it out. All right. Big news, everyone. James Gunn has dropped the poster for Supergirl, and it reads, here it is, truth, justice, whatever. Alan, what do we think of this poster? Truth, justice, whatever. It comes out June 26, 2026, next year, filmed for IMAX. What do we think?
Well, if Superman is a Boy Scout, Supergirl is his slutty sister.
I get that impression. I think they're taking a version of the Supergirl character from the Tom King comics that was sort of a re-examining of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think doing that before you've established who she is may not be the right move. I don't know.
Technically, this is a way of establishing who she is.
Well,
you know, and it's also to create a character arc of sorts.
Well, we will see the trailer. I think tomorrow it drops. The trailer will drop. We'll react to it on Friday. No reason to do a emergency stream for that, but we will talk about it Friday with the trailer. I don't know. Here's one prediction. Crypto will piss on someone in the trailer.
Yeah.
Or on something.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a post from someone who claims to have seen the trailer and says it's total dog piss, and with laughing and crying emoji. Yeah, an emoji's basically saying he's joking.
Mm-hmm.
But I suspect crypto will be a big part of this. And so more crypto.
Yeah, I love that how we analyze a tweet word by word, and now we're going to add emojis to our analysis.
Yeah, well, the emoji was effectively he's joking, but he said that I've seen the trailer. It's total dog piss. I think it's a reference to crypto pissing in it. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like, now that I've seen Gunn's Superman and Peacemaker, and I don't really like the direction. I don't think it's a very serious take. What Snyder was doing maybe went too hard one way in terms of realism and taking it seriously. And they were heroes of mythic proportions, but it was more interesting than what we've seen from Gunn so far. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Alan, any thoughts? And I don't like the truth, justice, and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it will fall perfectly in line with the Gunverse.
That attitude is, look, I like Gunn with the Guardians. He is great at that. Guardians, even the Suicide Squad,
right,
was very good. And that's in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know that shepherding a connected universe is in his wheelhouse, much less the character of Superman.
Yeah, well, that's what I said about the MCU. The MCU should have been deadly serious. When you're on Earth, it's deadly serious. There's no irony. There's no laughs. But when you go to space, you can have all the laughs you want. You can make it a very silly place. But the problem is Marvel now has decided to make Earth a comedy sketch. And it looks like Gunn is doing the same thing with DC. Everything is just going to be funny, satirical, and I think we want something more serious.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought what Snyder did was more interesting. That's what I thought. So,
yeah, well, yep.
There we go. All right, what do you think? What do people think? What are people saying in the chat?
Wow.
Questions for Justine. All right, I've got other stories. Hey, Zachary Levi. He has been very outspoken. Of late, people have tried to cancel him over 2 words. 2 words. They try to cancel me over 4 words. They try to cancel Zachary Levi with 2 words. He said, hardcore agree. He was talking about COVID restrictions. Someone was commenting and he replied, hardcore agree. He is allowed to think that. Well, this is a video from the Megyn Kelly show, a little clip here. And she gets some very good interviews. But this is Zachary Levi on Netflix and the importance of the theatrical experience. I'm going to play this clip and we will react to it on the other side. But here it is here. Let me make sure this is all set here. All right, here we go.
Individual industry. I don't love the idea that anybody's going to buy Warner Brothers, to be perfectly honest. Warner Brothers has been a home for me for many years. I did Chuck there for 5 years. Shazam, both films, these are Warner Brothers DC films. I love Warner Brothers as a studio. I have a lot of friends there, but they've also been going through lots and lots and lots of issues over these last 10 years. First with the AT&T deal that was not good for them. Then with the Discovery deal that, ultimately with all of these consolidations, lots and lots of people are losing their jobs. More and more, I think great art is not being made. I think with the Netflix deal, it's particularly troubling because they don't really care about theatrical release. And I think the theatrical release is imperative for us. I think that not just from a financial modeling or, allowing filmmakers and artists to be able to, make a living making movies that go into theaters that people pay for tickets. But when we don't go to theaters, this is something that's, I think, driving us apart. Part of the theatrical experience for decades is that you go to a theater and you are surrounded by strangers, people that don't look like you, don't agree with you. It might come from different political or religious backgrounds, whatever it is. But you know that you can go watch the same movie and laugh in the same moments and cry in the same moments. And what that does is it reminds you, either consciously or subconsciously, that we're not all that different. And so when we don't go to the theater as people and we don't enjoy these things as a collective, we lose even more of that connective tissue. And I know that Netflix is, Sid Sarandos has said as much. He said, I think we can do film windows that, theatrical windows that are like a week or 2 weeks. And that's just simply not enough time, I think, to give a great film its opportunity in the theater. Some films don't even pick up their inertia until a few weeks in the theaters, when word of mouth gets out and people start going to the theater and experiencing that as it was meant to be exhibited. And so I really don't love that. I don't love the consolidation. I don't love that with streaming, by the way. This is another issue that we have, and something that I'm actively trying to solve for. We don't own anything anymore. We're all just leasing everything. And I don't think that's right. I don't love the idea that as an artist, I could go make something and there's no physical copy of it anymore because nobody's making DVDs or anything like that. And so it only lives on a streamer. And then the streamer decides, well, we don't want to put this on the service anymore. And it's gone. It's literally gone. I can't point my friends or family or fans to go watch what I made. It doesn't exist anymore because it's not on the streaming service anymore. And I don't think that's good either. I think we as the audience, we as the people, more and more of us are waking up to the fact that we are just renting everything.
He has made the point. We're renting everything. Even on Amazon, when you buy a movie, in the small print, they can just decide to have it not on their service. I might as well have said all of that. I agree with 100. I hardcore agree with everything Zachary Levi just said. Alan, I know you have thoughts.
Yeah. To the Warner Brothers. Yeah. I mean, I would the best course of action is to not sell Warner Brothers. I just the consolidation, it never it's never good for the party being bought. And so I don't think it's going to expand Warner Brothers. It's going to expand Netflix. This is a Netflix deal, and Warner Brothers is going to go away. And then the theatrical window, ever since COVID, I think people have been trying to isolate us for a very long time. In fact, look, we're streaming here by ourselves. And then lastly, the physical media. Right now, I don't buy online unless it's a movie I know I don't care about. I'll just go to Amazon, I'll pay the money, and I'll buy the DVD, and it'll sit in my corner while I watch the streamer because I got the digital code from it.
Well, I once purged my DVD collection.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot, and I purged it because I thought, well, I don't need it now. It's all on these things. And I have since reversed that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get DVDs because I'm trying to have an archive when I know these services either bomb or whatever or consolidate, and I'm going for the 4K. I got The Substance on 4K. I have Jaws. I have Jaws 4K. Very excited about this version right here. So right within reach. So
I have 2 massive books of DVDs. I tossed all the covers, but I have those DVDs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, physical media is becoming important as people realize, you don't
own it.
You don't own it.
Yeah.
And it's BS. Let's go to comments here.
Comments. Patrick Lemire, a great movie in theaters is like sex. A great movie on the phone is like wanking into a sock. You get off either way, but one is not sustaining a life of society. Yeah, okay.
I'll let that comment lie where it is.
The movie house, or as I like to call it, the orgy house. Chase the Normie. Proof of why Hollywood is going to crash and burn right here. When guys like Levi and Cavill aren't A-list guys making movies every year, you are clearly removed from your audience.
Yeah. Thanks, Chase the Normie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, as I do buy physical now, but there hasn't been much to buy.
Yeah.
Joe Pat for 999. Not looking forward to social media being the main form of entertainment, which will be more convenient than a streamer. In doing so, that trait will move more toxic.
Prove more toxic. Yeah. I agree. I mean, social media is a form of entertainment.
Yeah, but it's got a short life. Once you see it on social media, it's gone. You're never going to go back to it unless you're making a video of your own. I will not eat the bugs. Digital copies expire and rights studios revert. I lost so many anime digital copies due to that nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel for you.
Yeah, I agree. That's annoying. So, hey, something else. We were talking about James Gunn because of the Supergirl trailer coming out. David Corenswet is discussing James Gunn. Has some comments. We saw a video where they disagreed about a direction he was given during Superman that he wasn't quite in favor of. Hard to get there. Well, here he adds some more comments. I actually think that David Corenswet's gut instinct was correct. So here let's see what he has to say here when he during this interview.
Think that way in life, and especially with his movies. He loves making movies. He loves comic books, even more so than wanting to make them good. He wants to make them fun and special and different.
And he's got a real sense of humor, hasn't he?
Oh well, yeah.
It's because that was what really struck me within all of it. It felt like it just felt like there was so many vibrant ideas. Like you were invited in someone's dream state.
Yeah.
And that's what is so exciting, because
that's why you want to go to the movies, is to see a dream on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool to have a director who leads with that.
Yeah.
And has great respect and wants to deliver something to an audience, but wants to deliver something that is unique to them, to themselves as a visionary.
Yeah, and how they interpret the world.
Yeah, it was really cool working like that, because he also casts people who think that way and are excited about their craft and their art in that way. As an actor,
what do you think about that? Look, David Corenswet is a team player.
Mhm.
You know, he obviously enjoyed his experience working with Gunn. Here's what I wish. I wish Gunn had given Corenswet a little more leeway to do his take on the character. It's the one thing when you talk to filmmakers, I know true for me, although I haven't had that experience very often. When you see an actor read the script, it's like it's like great.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're making it better than the way it was written.
Yeah, that's why you hire actors.
Well, ones that can bring something to it, a way of looking at it, a take. And my disappointment is that I don't think that James Gunn listened to David's feedback. At least give him one for you, one for me. We'll see what works in the edit. Let David Corenswet, but look, I like that he has positive things to say about James Gunn. I mean, he worked with him, so that's cool.
I mean, I think here's a theory I have about James Gunn. I think he has an idea of where the DC universe is going, and he had that idea when he made Superman. The problem was that he wasn't able to communicate that idea to most of the audience.
Yeah.
And
I
so
wish
if there's a direction that Superman is going to go, he didn't quite set the direction very well, because I don't think we really have a compass as to where the next movie is going to be.
Well,
and I think that's the fault of the filmmaker.
Well, I'll just say this. I hope that Superman gets more screen time in the next Superman movie. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, like Black Panther.
Yeah, true. Hey, Kristen Stewart. Are you a fan, Alan?
Probably of earlier Kristen Stewart than
You're talking the Twilight series?
Old school. I never watched it, but she seemed like a very nice girl at that time.
Well, he did the Twilight series, but she recently had some comments. I gotta share a screen with this on a podcast. Let me get to it. But she talks about filmmaking being a capitalist hell. Capitalist hell. Let's see what she has to say in this interview.
What would a system break look like in the world that you live in?
I don't know. I think we need to start sort of stealing our movies. I'm so appreciative of every union. Trust me, we would not survive without them. But I
don't like to do this, but what's with her hair? I mean, bangs is a choice.
But the thing is, I believe what she is saying because of this haircut.
Let's keep watching. The haircut is a distraction.
The terms and some of the rules and some of the structures we've set up have created unbelievable barriers for artists to express themselves. And I think that without being unfaithful, ungrateful, I think we need a little workaround. I just don't think, I think having it be so impossible for people to tell stories and having it be such an exclusive and rarefied novel position to be in, to find yourself doing so, is capitalist hell. And it hates women and it hates marginalized voices and it's racist. And I think that we need to figure out a way to make it easier to speak to each other through in cinematic terms. It's too hard to make movies right now that aren't blockbustery, whatever, proven equations. And so what does that mean? I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure it out. But the next movie I want to make, I want to do it for nothing. I want to make not $1. I want it to be a smash hit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just so difficult to make movies. It just doesn't need to be.
Okay. Putting the haircut aside, I saw this quote. Now I'm seeing the video. Is she twitchy? What is up with her?
Yeah, like
She
she's
seems
very
very,
fidgety.
very fidgety, twitchy. She like can't like, she's been famous like most of her adult life. I don't know what, look, movies cost money, and her whole thing about movies being racist. What are you talking about? If anything, those things are favored. The best thing can be is a woman trying to get a film made in Hollywood now. They leap on that. So what are your thoughts, Alan?
My thoughts are the Hollywood system is broken, and it's getting to the point where it's irreparably broken. The mantra I've had this whole year is Hollywood is not the dream. The stories she wants to tell, the stories that she wants to promote and encourage are basically indie films. If anything's going to save storytelling in Hollywood, it's going to be indie films. And you're going to have to take the attitude of, I just need to bypass Hollywood altogether. I need to scrap together money and investors and whoever, and just make the movie I want to make. That's the only way she'll be happy. And fine. That's what indie film is all about. That's why we embrace it. And that's why we're more willing to watch her film, because it wasn't from Hollywood, but it was something she made. Now, the whole thing about being racist and misogynistic and all that stuff, what, it's worse now than it's ever been? No.
That is a bullshit victim mentality. Yeah. We're about to see, and may very well win, Ryan Coogler, who we saw last night at the Black Cinema celebration of Black Cinema and TV. He may win Best Director this year. I think he has the best shot, because his movie was very widely enjoyed. It was a commercial hit. He's nominated for everything, a director. He will get an Oscar nom for director. What is Hollywood? The audience isn't, it's, again, she's crying victim. That's why her movie did not resonate. Her movie did not resonate. It's not tearing up the charts. It didn't resonate with people, and that's okay.
Yeah. But the longer she holds on to this Hollywood, that Hollywood has to make her movie, she'll never get her movie made.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny because at the ceremony last night, Paul Thomas Anderson, the sense I got was he didn't even direct his movie.
Well, that's another conversation.
Yeah, I know.
But I
Wait
think
till you see that one. Yeah.
Well, Kristen Stewart is trying to be a director in her own right. And I saw the trailer for her movie. It looks a pretentious, boring student film. I haven't seen the film. This is not a review. This is an impression of the trailer I saw. I was invited to a screening, and I thought, well, I'm going to check out the trailer first. And then I didn't go because the trailer just looks so bad.
But at the same time, it's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, when Hollywood does it, when it puts it in thousands of theaters and you get a kind of a bullshit message movie, we react to it much more strong than us. I mean, look at One Battle After Another. That's how we've reacted to these things. But when it's done at a small indie level and it's a passion project of the actor, it's good for her. Good for her for doing it.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be.
Well, I just think the victim mentality is a very negative spiral you can go down, that she's comparing herself to other people that are more successful. Well, guess what? Their stories resonated with more people. And when you do that, and no one is stopping Kristen Stewart from making a movie. And that victim mentality will be an obstacle for her in the end. So
yeah, I just hate this idea that if you don't watch my movie, you're a racist, or if you don't watch my movie, you're a misogynist.
What happens if you don't like the movie?
Yeah, well, that's even worse. Then you're a Nazi. And
she really, maybe a little self-reflection and accountability, accountable for either the success and or failure of your movie. When you're accountable, you own it. And you go, well, you know what? I'm going to work harder next time. I'm going to make something that really, really a message that resonates with a lot of people. And, those are the films that become the most.
I mean, entitlement is the big word. She feels she's entitled to not only be able to make a movie, but to force audiences to watch it.
Let's go to comments.
Yes, from Pilgrim Media for 2. Digital media means digital piracy.
Precisely.
Chase the Normie. Corenswet has a better vision for Superman than Gunn.
Well, in that video clip that a lot of people showed it, you can find it. He gets in a disagreement with Gunn about how he's supposed to react in that I'm human speech.
Right.
And Gunn wants him to yell the speech. And Corenswet wants to be more measured, more calm in his delivery. He feels that's what Superman would do. And Gunn says, no, do it my way. And then they did it Gunn's way.
Mm-hmm.
And they released that as a behind the scenes. And having seen it, I just thought Corenswet's instincts were better. And Gunn should have I think Gunn cared too much about I'm the guy in the set, just do what I say. And so Corenswet is a pro, did exactly what Gunn said, but I don't think it was the right way to go about it.
See, I see it differently. I think to me, Superman was an immature Superman, and that was I believe that's the direction Gunn is going. And again, to my point, he didn't communicate that very well. And so that's why there's confusion and why people, they expected Christopher Reeves, but instead they got a more immature Superman, someone who, the Reeves version is something that he hopefully will eventually grow into.
Yeah, when I watched that video, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oof.
I know. I get it.
More comments here.
Yeah, Charlie Stevenson. How many blockbusters did the USSR produce?
0. Not a lot of Russian films released in the US. So There you go. Movies is not their biggest export.
Yeah. A lot of Russians who made movies, but not in the USSR.
Yeah.
They
A couple other comments.
I will not eat the bugs. Why are these millionaires talking about capitalism when they live better than you or I?
Correct.
C. Stein 69. I heard he wants to make it fun over being good. David was able to get his opinion in there without seeming critical.
Yeah, makes sense. Hey, we have a guest coming on the show today that I can't get enough of her X feed. She's speaking truth and common sense at a time when that is a rare commodity. So let's welcome to the show the one and only Justine Bateman.
Hello.
Hey, Justine. I'm going to put you more full screen here so people can see what the amazing hoop earrings. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great. We're living in Gavin Newsom's hellscape in California.
Wow.
Oh my God. How do we, I look, so many things I want to ask you about. But Gavin Newsom how do you talk to friends? I consider myself part of the radical middle. I look at truth, and this is I see what's happened to the city of LA. I'm embarrassed for our city. I just want it clean. I don't care who does it. I don't care what they look like. I don't care their ethnicity, male, female, gay, straight. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
A competent politician.
Yeah.
What is it? How do we talk to people that seem dead set? I'm going to vote always this way, no matter how bad things get.
Well, I don't think people pay a lot of attention to the information about candidates. I think they're just, I don't have to tell you guys, they're just looking at
the D or the R.
The D or the R, or, oh yeah, I saw him on a billboard. he seems fine. I'll vote for him. Or, you know, that's the same way a lot of the film awards happen too. You know, they're like, oh, I liked them in that other film 4 years ago. I'll vote for them, you know, and they haven't seen the film. And that's what happens, you know. And I mean, one area where I wish we had, I mean, there's so much I could say about that, sort of about voting, but do you notice we never get any information about like the judges?
Yes.
We don't have like we just get a name. There's no D or R even to help people in that direction.
Right.
There's often no like not voting history, but like decision history or
yeah.
And you're like, wow, but these are, anyway, not to get into the weeds with all of that, but I guess just, you know, you can pray that people will be interested in doing just a little bit of digging. I don't like voter guides. I don't like endorsements. I don't care. It's like getting an endorsement on a film, right? You have to know that person's film taste to take their recommendation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But judges, it's important. I have voted in every election I could, even midterms, since I turned 18. I'm the one that reads those long proposals, the voter guides. I pay attention. Sometimes when you vote yes, you're voting no.
Yeah.
They try to trick you, but I just, even when I'm mildly, and I troll Gavin Newsom because I think he might be one of the worst. He's the worst governor in the country, as far as I'm concerned, because I had 3 friends I know, Andi Timoner, I don't know if you know her, filmmaker, documentary filmmaker. She lost her home. So many other friends lost homes. Tom Stern, actor, filmmaker friend of mine. I know people directly, and the incompetence is infuriating.
Yeah.
And just as someone, you've made films, you've done big projects, you've written books, you've done you've done project management. You've built a film festival, which we'll talk about, Credo 23. But you know, like basic common sense admin of a project is beyond these people. I'll just find like I just feel politicians are incredibly unremarkable the more I get to know.
That can be a good thing though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're unremarkable, but you're, do you remember the first time everyone saw C-SPAN? You know?
Yeah.
Never had a camera in there before. And then you look at it, you go like, oh my God, I just want to I'm going to fall asleep. I had no idea how boring this all was. Right.
Yeah.
And that was kind of good, I think. But unfortunately with the years and years and years of 24/7 news channels and websites, and there's just like a unlimited amount of content necessary. They'll grab any politician, right, to get them on camera, and then also you have the added opportunity of putting yourself on camera and using social media. So there's all these camera opportunities, and I think that has attracted a certain type of politician, unfortunately, that is looking to be a movie star, versus, I think there's a lot of people doing good work in politics that we don't hear much about. But man, the ones that we hear a lot about, I mean, look, with Newsom, I just want there to be some method by which some group that handles recovering all the billions and billions and billions of dollars that have just disappeared. That if we could just have that, I'd be happier. But I don't know. Who's watching the watchers, as they say.
Yeah, who's watching the Watchmen? If you read the comic too, the comic book Watchmen.
That's right.
I'll just say there's Kenneth Mejia. He's the LA comptroller. And he built a website that basically shows you where the money goes. And they're trying to shut him down.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know. Next year we'll be able to pick some other people. So
let's let's putting that aside, let's talk about Credo 23
Mhm.
and AI. You started a film festival. I'm going to share screen and let people know that there's time to submit to
Yeah.
the festival. We'll put up the website. I have it here somewhere. Credo23filmfest.com is
Mhm.
the site. I'm going to share it here. Tell us about the philosophy of Credo 23.
So Credo 23 started in 2023 as because I thought, wow, people are going to need sort of an organic stamp for films and TV series to tell them that no AI was used. Like I want to know personally, like I don't want to watch this if there's some AI in it. So I started that back then, and then as time went on, we saw the studios and the streamers go all in on AI. And then unfortunately saw a great number of film festivals go kind of all in on AI. And I thought, wow, considering that AI is a regurgitation of what you feed the model, it's what's fed into it. You're never going to get anything new out of using AI. And I thought, okay, well, what the next level of film or the new genre of film, like, how is that going to emerge? I don't know that it's going to emerge through a studio or streamer, most likely it's going to emerge through a film festival. And if the film festivals are all in on AI, then how is that supposed to emerge? So then I just said, like, well, it's time for a Credo 23 film festival where no AI is allowed. And also we give all the proceeds, I'm raising as much money as possible from sponsors so that I can give it all away. Like through the Credo 23 Foundation, we grant the filmmakers all the money beyond what we need for operating costs. And trust me, I'm an independent film producer, so I know how to get the best prices for things. And so we've tried to keep the overhead really low so that I could take the vast majority of the money and just give it to the filmmakers so they can go make more films. Because you got to think of the practical end of it too. Like if we're trying to encourage people to make more films that don't use AI, and people saying, well, so-and-so wanted to use AI because it saved them money. It's like, well, then we'll give you some money. So last year we were able to grant over $70,000 to the filmmakers. And this year, I hope it can be even more. So if there are any sponsors out there that want to be part of this, to kind of show your customers, whatever industry you're in, but you want to show your customers that you care about, supporting the arts. And it's not just, we're really careful about what we're picking too. Like there are no box checking movies. There's no content. There's no careless filmmaking. It's all really great. And even if somebody just did it with $2, there's inventiveness in there. There's fresh ideas. There's a fresh way to do maybe an older idea. We're really careful about what we're picking. And I want to tell you guys, this year we have this added component, which is some forum presentations. So we have the film festivals from people submitting, and then we also have really well-known filmmakers coming and presenting their films. Because it's another thing. There's some people they don't know how to, maybe they feel called to be a filmmaker, but they don't know how to make films. And it's really helpful to have experienced filmmakers pass on their knowledge and experience. So far we have Gus Van Zandt confirmed, and Matthew Weiner, who's also on the Credo 23 Council. And they're going to come and present some of their work and answer questions and talk about, how they made what they made. And I have some other filmmakers I'm waiting to hear back from that people will be very excited to hear speak as well. And it's just that, I don't think this would happen, but the great danger is that with AI becoming so involved with filmmaking and other things, of course, there's the potential to lose the skill set that is passed down, usually in an apprenticeship kind of situation. If we have less and less of that, less and less shooting on sets because you're using AI for a set or for an actor object or whatever, there's a risk that, that all these skills that fewer of these skills would be passed on. And we're already seeing it in the specific departments. Like Yeah, we're seeing less and less sort of apprenticeship and mentoring because the more experienced craftsmen, wardrobe, set design, all of this are having to retire. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off topic a little bit because the film business is down 40% from pre-COVID levels and down 60% in California itself, or Los Angeles specifically.
It's horrible, and we talk about AI on Film Threat quite a bit because it's affected things. The people that are most affected are below the line.
Yeah,
I have people that have left the industry entirely because they can't survive. And AI is coming. I think the toothpaste, you can't put it back in the tube.
yeah.
I think we can lessen the impact. My hope is, and by the way, I want to make sure to go to credo23filmfest.com. The submission deadline is before the end of the year, December. I think it's end of December
20th.
So you've got time to get your movie in there.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Yeah,
Like we are just like big fans of like human ingenuity and talent and skill and endeavors, and we want to see what you can do. You know, like we're really looking forward to seeing what you can, what you've come up with. And also passes are on sale too if people want to get Christmas gifts in for people, or Hanukkah and Christmas gifts in for people.
I went to the festival earlier in the year. It's a blast. It's very punk rock. It's got a great indie, like true indie vibe. True, not like some indie movies that they're like low budget studio films. This has a great indie vibe. It's a great hang, and I had a great time. I appreciate the invite. We're sponsors. Film Threat is a sponsor of the fest. But we talk about AI on this channel quite a bit. And I do want to talk about, like, for example, you and I have something in common. We both made movies that feature Olivia Munn.
Which film of hers was yours?
Well, I worked with Olivia for 5 years when she was at G4. I was a host on G4. We worked together. I love her. She's no bullshit. She gives no fucks. She'll say what's on her mind. She doesn't play politics. My time with her was great. So I made a documentary called Attack of the Doc, DOC, a documentary about Attack of the Show. Olivia was a big part of it. Now, I finished the doc in 2023. It's out on Blu-ray and streaming and all that. I used a guy that did color correction, and he used an app that he called AI upscaling of footage that was like shot on like a Moto Razr phone. So would that disqualify me? Because what I'm saying is I think AI is being overused to brand certain things.
The term is
AI.
Yeah, the term is being overused.
Yes. To raise money and as a sales point. So he suggested using this tool to make the footage look better. So at the time I'm like, yeah, that's great. This is, I'm finishing the movie, we're color correcting, doing all our due diligence so I can sell it. Would that disqualify me or not? Like, are there certain
you'd have to ask your editor, like, exactly what is this feature? Because a lot of times, especially in the post software, there'll be some kind of like masking or something like this, and they'll go like, and they'll label it now like AI, like they all want to look like, often, whatever is trending, like every company wants to look like they're, at the leading edge of whatever this trend is. I mean, in truth, like if a company's using AI, you're not on the leading edge, you will be left behind. You're not innovating. You're like I'm done. I'm going to regurgitate the past. So a lot of these tools, you just ask your editor, like, was this a tool? What exactly? Because if it's just
like if it's an algorithm versus
just machine learning algorithm, right? That's something they were using before. That's not generative AI. So I would just ask him, like, were you able to use this tool under another name, like in 2022?
It's
then-
upscaling.
Then it's not generative AI, you know, but
Yeah.
you ask them.
But the real AI is frightening. I think it's in some ways, the death of creativity. We had a conversation, private conversation, where I said, it's weird in the world of Star Trek, they don't talk about modern artists in the 23rd century, because art may have ended. You remember we had that conversation? It's scary. And when you look at McDonald's just released, did you see that commercial?
Yeah, Coca-Cola did it too. And I just want to tell McDonald's and Coca-Cola, if you use generative AI for your commercials, you are signaling to your customers that you are running out of money. You're signaling to your stockholders that you are running out of money. And then you're also signaling that you don't care, which makes the customer think you didn't put a lot of care into the manufacturing of your product either. So it's a bad move to make.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that stuff is scary. I mean, my hope with AI, it's all about authenticity. I really believe authenticity is the currency of the future. My friend Robert Meyer Burnett said this. I think it's true in news media. That's why podcasts are so popular, right? Long form conversations and authenticity in news and in art. You know it when you see it. When you see a small little indie movie that might be flawed, maybe it doesn't have like the best of this and that, but there's something in the heart of that movie that's so creative. I was fortunate to see Richard Linklater's Slacker, his second feature film in the early 90s. He sent it to me on a VHS cassette.
Really?
Back then. Well, I mean, I was doing Film Threat even back then. And he sent it to me and it was blown away. That movie is my favorite indie movie, Slacker, by Richard Linklater. It's so authentic. It's a day in the life of Austin, Texas. My hope is that AI will turn into a category like anime. It's a thing. There's a reason AI slop is a term.
Yeah.
Like people call it AI slop, that everyone seems to use that because it looks bad. And I think there can be, what I'm saying is it's not going away. It may end up being a category. So what are your thoughts on just AI in general? And I think,
there are AI in general. I mean, beyond the film industry too, like there's a 40% inaccuracy rate. So like when you see like the Department of War saying, well, we're deploying this app that uses AI that all these people, all these military officers can use for I don't know, strategy or attacks or I don't, just like, okay.
We're gonna hand strategy over to AI.
That's probably not going to go well. It's 40% inaccurate. It's not, people are hoping that, wishing that there's this sort of, they do it with prescription medicine too. Like, there's just hoping there's some sort of cure-all, something that'll fix everything. And like, life doesn't go that way. I mean, and also the people that are, trying to sell all this AI and all these subscriptions and stuff, they're hoping you think that too. They're hoping you think that AI will solve all of your scheduling problems, budgeting problems, entertainment problems, health problems, government problems. And it's just silly. It's very snake oil salesmanship, It won't do that. And even, and this is sad, like they are promoting it too in a spiritual sense. And you can see like the language that they're using, it's like, it's always with you. It will always give you wisdom. It will love you. And they'll even use this direct language, like the Sam Altmans and all this, they just seem to like be professional podcast hosts, but they'll say, it's almost spiritual. It's like a God. And I'm like, okay. And in that sense, it's sort of a type of antichrist, right? Yeah. So it's just like, we'll always be with you. Yeah, same with God. We'll always give you wisdom. Yeah, same with God. We'll always love you. Okay, same with God. Now, the one thing so the list is like very similar going all the way down, except for this part. God will challenge you, will put challenges in your path so that you can become yourself. Generative AI will never. Your AI assistant or companion or AI wife or whatever would never challenge you. It's very people pleasing. Whatever it is you want to hear, you can have it. And so I use this example of the spiritual, like kind of God replacement thing to say that this frictionless kind of experience, that's what they're trying to sell. You could have that in your spiritual life. You can have that in your government life. You can have that in your entertainment life. We can customize any entertainment for you based on your viewing history. Nothing needs to be different than what you expected. You're never going to be disappointed. You're never going to be challenged. You're never going to have it. Anyway, it goes on and on. Like, we'll customize your news to you. What is it you really want to hear? We'll just customize it to you. So you'll feel like you're getting the news, but that's
you won't get challenged in any way.
Well,
people pleaser.
Yeah, what I hope is, because I've seen a lot of these commercials now, even at the movies, where people talk to their AI that's going to do this for them, schedule this. There's one with Pete Davidson where he's having a conversation with the AI. The way I see AI, it's like Clippy. Go away. You're annoying. I'll make my own decisions. I don't need you to think for me. I can do it
That's a
myself.
good comparison, Chris, because like, wasn't Clippy always jumping in where like,
Yeah.
I don't need this right now. You want me to do this for you? Want me to do this? No. Shh.
Well, that's the sad thing. It jumped in when it thinks you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awful. Another topic I want to hit with you is Netflix and WB merger. I have yet to see anyone, have an opinion in favor of it. I want to know what you think.
Well, the consolidation of all of these media companies and production companies, everything it's bad for media. It's bad for entertainment. Makes it so this is obvious to everyone, I'm sure, it makes it so you have just, very few groups deciding what kind of projects you're going to get or what kind of news you're going to hear or anything like that. So an Ad Age did a really good in 2027 or around there, did a really good info map of all the consolidation that was happening at that time. And it's become even worse. It's funny, if anybody knows in Universal City in Los Angeles, there's this Comcast NBC Universal entity. And one of the buildings used to just say across the top, Universal. And then it was like Universal Comcast. There's Universal Comcast NBC. It's like the font get really small if they pull in another company, but it's that kind of thing. And so it's not good for like the material you're going to get because you have a tiny group of people deciding. And there's a number of things that have caused that to happen. If people want to look up like the FinCEN rules when I think it was under Clinton, made those go away, which meant those rules were in place, just like the Paramount decrees for film, which I think started in the 30s. But the FinCEN rules were, they wouldn't allow a network to also produce a show. If you were either a distributor or a producer, you couldn't be both, except in the cases of news and soap operas. So when those went away in the mid 90s, when that rule went away, suddenly NBC could make NBC shows. And you had a lot of independent companies like Carsey Warner and Whit Thomas and there's a host of them that either went away or like slowly disappeared because anyway, there's a host of reasons why that's bad. Like you're not going to get the best deal. You can't shop it around to each of the networks because it's just sitting there at that one network. And then the Paramount decrees were kind of the same thing, but with movies and movie studios and movie theaters, for anyone who doesn't know. And those went away recently. So now Netflix could buy AMC movie theaters and only play Netflix shows. Of course, they don't seem interested in the theater experience, but that's an example of what's possible now. It's too bad because, like I said, then you have the consolidation of taste and project choices, and it's not good for anyone.
Yeah.
I feel like just taking a totally objective view and just, if someone's going to be a good buyer or not based on how the company's conducted themselves so far. And Netflix, it seems, again, not trying to be critical of anything, just looking at the facts, like Netflix seems to be just very concerned with a multitude of content versus really, caring about films and TV series. And you could say the same of a lot of the streamers, I mean, these are tech companies. They're not film studios. It's a different DNA. And so when you look at the idea of them buying the land, I mean, I'm not sure what they would do with the land exactly that Warner Brothers sits on. But the library, really, when you're buying a studio, you're looking at the library more so. And then you go, gosh, what would Netflix, I tell you, if I was Netflix, what I would do with that library. I would, for an upcharge, allow you to face replace on any Warner Brothers film. And don't forget, Warner Brothers owns other things like Gone with the Wind. That was an MGM film. Warner Brothers owns the rights. And you know what they did with it for the Sphere, right?
Yeah. Oh, you did it.
Things that were like, the actress was in focus in the foreground and the background's out of focus, director's choice. Somebody, they had Google come in, and either Warner Brothers executives or Google executives decided that should all be in focus.
Yeah.
They changed that, obviously broke the frame completely, and then inserted Zaslav's face and the head of the Sphere, the CEO of the Sphere, I forget his name, put their faces in the film. So you
But
look
did
at
they colorize the first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Did they?
No, I don't think
No, but they probably would.
they
No,
will eventually.
But you look at that and you're like, okay, like really, how far are we from the technology's there? How far are we for an upcharge? How far are we from if Netflix owned that? Maybe they wouldn't do this.
Well, this is a theory
Wouldn't
that
they say, like, for an upcharge, Chris, you can have your face on, on the Cowardly Lion's, body today, while you watch it, or we'll make you your own material, and Warner Brothers is never going to sue us. We can like mash up like any of their films and we can send that to you. We won't bother to copyright it because it's like Kleenex. We can make 100 of them for you a day.
well,
And
our
the whole
audience.
philosophy behind it is because we can versus because we should.
Well, I heard a theory that Netflix wants the WB library because of AI, because they want the content for their AI models for people to
Sure,
remix.
but getting back to like what I was saying, like I know is coming down the pike.
Yeah.
Why would you want those AI models? Isn't it to make you, based on your viewing history, to make you customized films?
Right.
You can put yourself in even.
That's what it's going to be.
That's
for.
law of touch. Put
Yeah.
yourself in the film.
It's going to kill the art of movies, the art of cinema.
The idea that you can go into locked films and break them open.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a problem. It's one thing to use it in new films, and like you guys said, maybe it becomes a category. I don't know. Maybe there's an audience for that category. But to go into locked films and break them open and just do whatever you want, and it's been happening.
Yeah.
It's been happening. That's a problem. That's like, why stop there? Why don't you, Jackson Pollock, some of his work, maybe you don't like the colors that he chose. Just go in there and put some paint over it. Mona Lisa, is she smiling? She's not smiling. We're not really sure. Let's make sure she's smiling. Let's just go in and change it.
Well, before we go, we have a lot of
Go in
questions.
and mess around with the Wizard of Oz. You want to go mess around with what's next? Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
You know,
we have a lot.
What's coming. They don't have to wait for the very end to know what the whole film's about.
Yeah, it's we did a whole story about that sphere thing. There's a different experience in LA that Alan just saw called the Cosm.
Yeah,
That's
Cosm.
they don't change the movie at all. They just present it in a Alan, you should
It's like
describe
Screen
it.
X, where you have the movie in the middle of the screen, but then outside of the screen, they create, like, for example, Wonka, when they're in town, they built the entire village around the movie, as if you're watching there. And then when you're the part where you're going down the Chocolate River, you actually go down the Chocolate River. So all the images on the side is what you would have seen if you were just going down the river.
Well, how are they? What do those images look like, and what are they using to guide them? Are they using? Is it CGI? I mean, what are they?
Yeah, it's CG. It's all digital.
So they're just putting there what they imagine would have been there. Or
Exactly.
They're
Like
not doing anything from the. They're not expanding the frame from the film.
No, yeah, like the movie is clearly in the middle. They don't touch the movies. It's just what surrounds the movie, and it's like a 180 dome. So they're filling up quite a bit, and they're going to be doing Harry Potter next. So you know, it's you know, it's a way to make movies an event. That's kind of how they describe it,
Right.
where it's a special immersive experience, a shared reality they call it.
Well, that's kind of what they tried to do with VR, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, for a director, not fun, because the director wants you looking at only these things that are within this frame right now for a reason, right? I mean, the only way to direct stuff that's like that kind of all over, where you could just look all over, is through sound. You know, sound will get your attention whether you were paying attention or not. You know, visually, you have to really direct people to, I want you just looking at this.
Yeah. Well, to them, the idea is they want to choose movies that are immersive in and of themselves. You know, you just can't do it with any movie. And and it's a premium experience, you know, so you're gonna.
I know. What if they did it with like 12 Angry Men or something?
Yeah.
Oh, there's wood paneling over here and over here too, and there's some books. And,
Friday the 13th would be great.
Yeah. It's we're just in I mean, I think the film business has always had rough times. This is unique. I think the time we're going through with AI, corporate consolidation. My hope is that, you know, like you mentioned, VR headsets, those aren't widely popular. They have tried to do VR headsets. They did VR with Nintendo in the 90s and it bombed, called the Virtual Boy. That bombed. The Meta masks, no matter how much they change the pricing, people don't want this. The Apple version of it, you know, Apple, the gold standard, they can't make AI or VR headsets that work. My hope is kind of AI is like that in that sense, but I believe there'll be a category. There are some people doing really interesting AI work. A guy named Damon Packard, who's been a filmmaker for decades, making underground films, has been experimenting, and the things that he has done with it are really remarkable. But it's but I don't trust the studios. I would trust an artist, not the studios. But
but I mean, you're at you can't get away from the fact that it's absolute theft.
Correct. If you owned the data sets, there's got to be an ethical way to do AI.
Okay, if you're a trillionaire,
right,
you could make your own AI model.
Yes.
You just can't. You can't train an AI model even just with the Warner Brothers library. You can place it on top of a base model, but you can't just. I mean, unless you have an incredible amount of money. I mean, there's so many problems with it. You know, it's the energy that it uses, the water that it uses, the you know, it's so expensive. But you know, the thing about the entertainment business or the film business specifically is it's not just that AI was kind of like coming in and putting the nail in the coffin, but there's so many other, all the other issues that are not issues, but changes that the film industry has had in the past, you know, changing, you know, the advent of television, change, you know, going from black and white to color or silent to sound, all these different things, you know, introducing VHS and DVDs and even, you know, basic cable, premium cable, all of this still never changed the financial model of the business.
Yeah.
You still were getting money from audience members. Every time one audience member would see a film, they would pay. Kind of get away with it. You came away from it a little bit with like premium cable, you know, if your films, but you're still getting residuals. And also your film has gone out there and really gotten really benefited financially from the theater release and from DVD release. I mean, all kinds of things, right? So this is sort of the last place you would put it, and then you've already made the bulk of your money back. Trouble now is like, you're barely in the theater long enough to make that kind of money. Residuals are like non-existent, practically on streaming. And the idea that let's say tickets are $15 to watch a movie, and you got family 6. Each person is paying $15 to go see that movie once. And if they want to come see it again, you do it again. Instead, the idea that there'd be $15 a month for your whole household, not for 30 days, to watch 1,000 movies. Anybody with even minimal mathematical understanding could see that is not going to benefit the people who are making the films. Yeah. And that is the predatory pricing, the carpetbagging that these streaming companies did. And unfortunately, too many of the studios, I don't know, they thought, well, we're not going to let tech do to us what they did to the music industry. And so they started getting involved with them, and they didn't protect. This is how it looks like to me. Like, they didn't protect the financial structure that had worked for 100 years. Yeah. And now that financial structure is blown. Like, that is one of the primary reasons this business is in trouble. They didn't protect the financial structure. And that's why so many people, like you mentioned earlier, are having to just get out of the business.
Yeah. That's why even successful actors are doing their own liquor brand. I mean, it's
that's a whole other, it's not only the liquor brands, but just like straight up standard television commercials. Like, yeah, it doesn't even seem like an endorsement anymore. It's just like, I mean, I don't know. Some of these actors, like you go like, wait, you're like a really successful actor right now. Like, but now you seem no different than like the Verizon guy or the State Farm guy or the Progressive lady or what? Why? I mean, I don't know their financial situations. Maybe they needed the money, but audiences are going to bring that into a film. You know, they're going to go, oh, it's that guy from the cell phone commercial. Or,
well, to be fair, Flo from Progressive was in an indie movie directed by Bob Odenkirk that was very good called Melvin Goes to Dinner. That was before she got that gig. But we have a ton of questions.
Okay, cool.
From our audience. Rapid fire. We got like 20 questions here.
Okay.
And also want to say, we'll have an offline conversation. I may be able to get a sponsor for you that's sponsoring our award show, like to help you get some sponsorship there. So yeah, we'll talk later about that.
Good. But more money to give to the filmmakers.
Yes. Let's let's go to these questions. Alan, if you would.
All right, from Ulf. Hi, Justine. If you use AI for research, fact checking, but not in the actual writing or making of your film, does that disqualify you from Credo?
I mean, what's this guy's name? Is this Ulf?
Ulf, yeah.
I'm just call you Ulf. Ulf. I mean, kinda, but not technically. It wouldn't. But I want to tell you this. I don't know how long you've been writing scripts, but I will tell you from my experience, when I do the research and the fact checking stuff, I cannot imagine not doing that myself. I wouldn't even want a human assistant doing that, because it helps me so much to put the story together. And also I find out things while I'm doing this, like fact checking and research, that like ideas for other films too. Like I'm like, oh my God, I was doing research for this one that we're casting right now, and I discovered this whole other area that I didn't know anything about, that didn't apply to the film itself, but I want to do a film about this other thing as well. So I just encourage you to like check that out yourself. Like, it really helps when you're writing the script that you delved in there, and you can find so many cool things that like I said, can help you with other films.
Also, if you're using AI for fact checking, you're going to get burned at some
Yeah,
point.
you're going to get burned.
It's people pleasing. It's just going to make up. It's like a lying child, you know, it's just going to make up things that they think that it thinks you want to hear.
Yeah, it won't find it, and it'll just make something up. Matthew Hammond for 5. Justine, Tarantino and Roger Avery should consider creating a studio. Modern studio executives don't watch movies and don't understand how to make them.
Yeah. Matthew, I agree with you. Like all this talk about like, oh no, the consolidation, everything we were saying in this, you know, talk earlier, nothing precludes somebody from setting up their own studio. It's true. And, you know, and let's not forget, we do have like Mubi and A24, and, you know, there's lots of other like smaller places that are, and, you know, myself, like, you know, with my company Section 5, I mean, tiny studio, but, you know, you can go get funding and get a film made, and you can still do that. But I'll tell you this. I've never known my business to be so out of touch with what is desired by and needed in society. I don't mean like, oh, they're out of touch with what's going on in Kansas. I don't mean like that. I mean, this film business has been, the reason it's been incredibly successful for the last 100 years is because it looked around and went, you know what's missing in society right now? Humor or intrigue or whatever. And they put it out there. They were not afraid of what anyone would think. They were quite bold about making a film about whatever they felt like making about. Nazis, cats, motorcycle races, like whatever. And with whatever position you want to have on it. But the film business got very frightened when all the cancellations were happening. I don't know, when did that start? 8 years ago, 4 years ago, 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was hoping it would kind of snap out of it, and it just really never did. So yeah, I agree. Like we need to be first of all entertaining people, not teaching them a lesson. I mean, you can put messages into films, but like, my God, wrap it around to some comedy or something. Like nobody wants to see didactic films. Nobody.
No one wants to pay for that either.
Yeah.
All right. Robert James Films for 2. Justine, best fest for micro budget features.
Credo 23.
Yeah. I was going to say.
23 Film Festival. I mean, look, when we're looking at a film, we don't care how much it costs. We don't care what color the people are in it. We don't care what your topic is. We don't care the color of the filmmakers or what their background is. We're looking at the film. So if you made your film for $10, fantastic. If you made it for $100,000, fantastic. Like, we're just looking at the work, and you can do a lot of great work. For my last 2 features I made for almost nothing. I mean, it's hard to do like big scale stuff with no money, but yeah.
All right, Velian for 5, also known as Paul Allen Bronado. Hello, Justine. Love your work. What's your opinion on faith-based movies? And if it's the right project, would you direct it?
Would I direct a faith-based film?
Yeah. What's your opinion about them? And would you direct one if offered?
Well, Paul, again, like, you can make a film about anything, you know, like, it can be faith-based, it could be horror-based, anything. If it's good, it has to be good. I feel the same way about like Christian worship music. I mean, most of it is just like,
it's garbage.
Are you kidding me? Like this, right? I mean, it's just like, I don't feel like God, the source of all creativity, had anything to do with this song. Like, it's void of, you know, some of them are just void of, you know, and yet I could listen to anything from Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, God's all over that. Like, that's like amazing. So I just think it just has to be great. Like, faith-based, whatever, that's fine. But if it's just like this, you know, dum-da-dum, I don't know, not much artistry involved, not much care taken in the casting or the writing of it or anything, I'm very focused on like the quality, the creative quality of a project. And there's no excuse for not having it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just say God created rhyming for a reason. Oh, let's bring it back to worship music. Mad Film for 10. Hi, Justine. I'm leaning toward making a short doc for YouTube over struggling to get narrative projects made. The future is so dim without theaters and Netflix. Content pile, where things go. Advice. The Netflix content pile, where things go. Advice.
Yeah, where things go to die.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, look, a lot of it's convenient, like Criterion Channel. Like, how great is it to just like, you just go watch 8.5 anytime you want, you know? Or I mean, if you had a DVD, you could as well. But some of it's very convenient. But yeah, it does go get lost. It does go get, you know, kind of shoved in a bin, and there's not a lot of categories to, you know, you shouldn't have some of these films with thumbnails next to each other. Like, you got to treat it properly. So making short docs for YouTube, I mean, look, it's always going to be a struggle. I just encourage anyone as a filmmaker on here, like, it's always a struggle to get a film made. You will, if you're having a super easy time getting a film made, like, write a book on it, because that's really curious. It's always hard. Either it's hard to get the casting, or it's hard to get the funding, or it's hard to get the right script, or it's or everything comes together, and then while you're shooting, you know, you have these like fits and starts, or it's hard to get distribution, or hard to get agreement on the marketing plan, or it's always going to be like that. You just have to like embrace that, you know? And I would tell Mab, like, if whatever you're having trouble with about getting your film made, if it's the financing, try and put something together that doesn't cost much money at all. Read the Duplass brothers book, Like Brothers. They go into a lot of like, you know, look at the assets you have. What locations do you have access to? What people do you have access to? What material, you know, and you can shoot it on an iPhone. What I watched the other day, Left-Handed Girl, shot on an iPhone. It's a great film. So if it's financing, look at that. If it's you want well-known actors or whatever, maybe just use what you have access to. Who do you have access to? Use them.
I think the question is also about distribution, the difficulty of getting the film out there once it's made.
That's tough. I don't have an answer on distribution. I think it's tough. I thought, yeah, I've had some ideas about like maybe we have like film societies online or something. I tell you, we can't touch too much about it now because we're not ready to launch. But there is going to be a component to the Credo 23 Film Festival that people will be excited about. But I'll tell you guys about that later. But we're not ready to announce that yet. But yeah, the distribution is tough because it is like, even if you had your film bought by Netflix or Amazon or Apple or wherever, it just because of the way those sites are structured, it just does get kind of tossed into a bin, you know? It's distribution's really hard. I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm one of the film contributing editors for Spin Magazine now. And my next article for them is going to be all about, here are a bunch of films that you didn't hear about because marketing is way too difficult now. Like, it's too expensive to try and let everyone know because the audience has been so fractured for so many years. But there are a number of films that were really pretty good over the last 15 years that just nobody knew about. So anyway, that article, when that comes out, you'll have a list of films to go watch. But yeah, distribution is hard.
We specialize in covering those films. On the Film Threat website, that's Ask Alan. He reviews his whole morning.
I wanted to tell you guys, it's so great that you do that, you know, because there's so many films that, like, they don't have any quotes from any critics that they can, you know, use for their marketing or anything. And it's so great that you guys do that.
Yeah. Only 14 more questions to go.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll answer faster.
Okay.
All right. MK Solid for 5. Justine, do you think that a-hole producers like John Peter and Weinstein were a necessary evil to make great movies like Batman 89 and others?
Well, I never worked with either of them, so I can't pass judgment on what kind of producers they were. But I will say I'm far more familiar with Weinstein's films than what John Peters. I would have to go to IMDb and look up exactly what John Peters, because my first thought is Barbra Streisand, and you know, I'm sure he did a lot more than that. But I mean, I wouldn't say like necessary evil or anything like that. I would say that the person, Weinstein as a person aside, again, I don't think I ever met, I worked with Miramax, but I was with Meryl Poster. I never worked with, I don't think I ever met Weinstein, or his brother. They did do, separating all the like heinous crimes he committed, they did do incredible things for independent film. I mean, we just look at what they did in a separate category. I wouldn't say necessary evil. I'd just say like that did occur and these heinous crimes occurred. So, you know, they both can be true. You know what I mean? There's a great book by, I think it's Peter Biskind. Do you guys know the book? It goes over the 90s.
I know. I can picture the cover.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Very colorful cover.
Yeah. If
you read that, MK, it's very interesting to see how it the things they did to make independent film like explode. I mean, I think without what they did, the Weinstein brothers did, I don't know that Sundance would have become what it became, etc. It's interesting. Look, both things can be true. The guy is an absolute criminal that destroyed people's lives, and also he and his brother did incredible things in independent film.
Gods and Monsters, was that it?
No.
Or Down and Dirty Pictures?
That's it. Down and Dirty Pictures. Isn't that Peter Biskind?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good book to look at. Okay. Oh, what was that? First horror film.
All right. Lee Kindler. Hello, Justine. Making my first horror short next year. How stressed out am I about to be?
You don't have to be stressed out. Make a list. What do you have to do? Are you dealing with the unions? Is it a union project? You know, make a list. Who are you supposed to contact? Blah, blah, blah. And you just start, you know, this is producing. You just go down the list. It's like if you've ever done any renovation on your bathroom or your kitchen or something, or renovated a car or something like this, anything that's got like a series of things you're going to have to do. Or applied for a grant, or trying to think of things where they give you a list of things you need to like get to them. And you just go down the list. You can do it, you know, just like I said earlier, like make sure you're not spending more. If it's your own money, make sure you're not spending more money than you can just kiss goodbye. Make sure you're using sets and locations and actors and people that you have access to. Because it's supposed to be fun. But like I said, make a list, get as much as you can get done beforehand. Work with people that you get along with who have the same objective, because that's one thing that you can control. There's going to be things that come up while you're shooting that, you know, these unknown variables, you know, it rains on a day you didn't expect it, and you've got to scramble and shoot something else instead, things like that. So one thing you don't want to knowingly bring into your project are people that are difficult to get along with, or that don't have your same objective in mind or something. So try to avoid that, and you'll have an easier time.
Yeah, there's a great book called The No Asshole Rule. It's great. And I would also recommend Catherine Hardwicke, the director. She did the first Twilight movie, which I think is the best of them. She has a whole presentation she gives. She says, fix it in prep. Means being very prepped. And when you go on set, you know what you're doing. If there's any asshole on the set, it's usually the first AD. It keeps everyone on schedule.
Well, I got to say, though, I've really liked pick an AD that you think is like super organized.
Yeah.
It's great. I like it. I mean, you don't need to be an asshole, but I like people that are really organized as ADs. I mean, who else is going to do it? You know, I mean, you know, your line producer, of course, and then as a director, you need to know what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't avoid that there's somebody involved in the project that is not pleasant or trying to pick fights or whatever. So you try to build a moat around them and keep them away from yourself.
All right. Mrazek Monkey. Hey, Justine. How was your experience on the show Psych as Lassiter's ex-wife?
It was fun. It was such a long time ago, back when I was acting. And it was short. I think I was only there for like a day or two. So I know for Psych fans, like I just don't have, I wish I could give you more, but I just don't. I was just there for like a blip.
You could do Comic-Cons just on that one role.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the Psych fans are very very dedicated. Okay.
Matthew Hammond, will unions adjust contracts before it's too late?
Gosh, in what way? I mean,
it's almost like you're asking them to go backwards.
Matthew, in what way you mean, but union, I mean, they're always trying to make sure that their members in entertainment are able to make a living. That's their focus. You know, when they're negotiating contracts, they're dealing with the basic minimum contracts. They're not dealing with like what Brad Pitt gets paid or anything. It's nothing to do with that. It's the people that don't have the ability to negotiate anything. At least there's a floor for them. And that's that. I mean, the truth is that there's no reason to not use the unions they're tiered prices or rates for union members. You can use a union you can use like all the unions for any level of budget, you know, and they're very accommodating. If you're doing like shooting a film for $100,000 or something, and you just say to them, this is what I'm doing, but I really want to use the Teamsters and stuff, they'll totally work with you.
In fact, SAG Indie If you go to sagindy.com, you can hire SAG actors scaled to your budget level. So I know the woman who runs that program. It's
Darian, she's great, right?
And they don't. It needs to be more promoted. That's an option. So
yes, and it's the same of the DGA, WGA, and IATSE and Teamsters. Like they'll work with you.
Yeah. Their beef is really with the studios, not with the indie filmmakers.
Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle gave a $4.99 super sticker. Jason,
wait, what does that mean?
They're thanking us for the channel, helping.
It's like digital stickers.
Come to the Credo 23 Film Festival, and I'll give you a physical sticker.
There we go.
Flying Blindona.
Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle. It's a reference. It's a reference to Flash Gordon starring Sam Jones. Only I would know that. So.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm not the only one to know that, but thank you.
Joe Pad 87 for 199. I remember the cat or the dog more than Clippy.
Which one's the cat or the dog?
Because you could change Clippy into a, there's other avatars.
I didn't even know that. I guess I didn't use that system that much.
Yeah, it's Microsoft Office. Hosa Taco for 199. Justine, how do we save the theatrical experience?
I don't know. How do we save the soundstage industry?
Yeah,
it's very tough. It's very tough. There's so many people online. I see comments online when I post something about theaters and stuff, and they'll go, well, I went to a theater and I could just smell pot in the theater, and these people were talking and other people were on their phones, and like I hated it. I just couldn't wait to get home and watch the film there instead. And I can't blame them. Like if the theaters aren't going to, what do you do? Here are your few paying customers and they're making a problem. I don't know. It's a very difficult situation. I'll tell you one thing, Hosa Taco, that could be done to save the theater experience. There's what they call a theatrical window of time that the film's going to be in the theaters. And there was so much talk years ago about like, they're collapsing the window. They're going from 120 days to 45 days. This is outrageous, right? And the theaters were like, we're not going to show your films anymore if you don't expand this theater window, or if you don't protect this theater window. And then, with 2020 and the streamers just getting more traction through us, being stuck at home and stuff, the theater window is just collapsed. That is one way you could save the theater experience. And I think a lot of actors may be demanded in their contracts. I know they can. Like if Tom Cruise is doing a film, I'm sure he says to them, I need this, you have to guarantee me this is going to be in a theater for X number of days, or I'm not doing the film. Just because he's so committed to preserving the theater experience. So it's really just that. I don't know how we save the theater experience, but you definitely, bring back the theater exhibition window instead of, because otherwise you're training people. By the time they hear about a film, it's been in the theaters for 2 weeks, and now it's on. You've just trained them. Just wait till it's online.
Yeah, Disney's the only one holding to a 90-day window at the moment.
Our films used to be in theaters for like months.
Yeah. Titanic was 13 months, I believe.
You just keep it in until it stops making money, and then you pull it.
ADL V2L for $4.99. I don't want Netflix to take over, but what are the downsides to the Paramount merger if it happens?
God, poor Warner Brothers. Like, I don't know if your viewers remember, like AOL.
Time Warner.
AOL had it at one point. AT&T had it. But the downsides to Paramount, it's the same downside to what we were saying earlier to Disney buying 20th Century Fox. The the same downside to, well, MGM, well, they're not making stuff out of there, but that's a library purchase, but like, Amazon buying MGM, but it's the same thing as we were saying earlier, ADL. You just have fewer people making decisions on what films are going to get made. So one collection of tastes, one collection of opinions, instead of there being varied opinions and tastes from different studios. So yeah, run the risk of that.
Real Jester Bell for $4.99. I am an indie filmmaker who's mostly made films on my own and want to start working with a crew. How can I start connecting with other filmmakers?
Jester, go check out Reddit. There's a lot of really good subreddits with people that are exactly trying to do this, like trying to connect with other. And maybe if you specify your post to, a specific, your state or city, maybe you can find some other filmmakers. Yeah.
Also, organizations like Stage 32 and LinkedIn. These are just real simple things you can use. Yeah.
All right. Eric Call for $5. I know Alan saw Taste the Revolution, but you guys should watch the trailer. I saw it earlier in the year, and it's the most relevant film all year. Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I don't know it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so
Alan.
yeah, it's basically a story about this revolutionary group, of students who take over a farm to plan a massive protest. The caveat is, though, the film was made in the year 2000 and starred Mahershala Ali, and the things, it was all shot in 2000. You watch it today, and it's like you're watching a movie that was made a year ago. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could also look at Star Wars with that lens too. Like, I mean, that's when the rebels are fighting against the establishment, and everybody's like, one battle after the other is, it's so political. It's just about what's going on right now and stuff. And it's like, I guess it could be, but like, that's always been a theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
The establishment, you have the rebels fighting against the establishment. That's always been a film theme. So yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't seen it.
Sean, formerly artist John Cusack for $4.99. Justine was like a big sister I never had as a little kid growing up. And I just wanted to thank you for making my childhood a little bit better.
You're welcome.
From J Ham Stoneface for 20, just for having Justine on. Let's see. Jason Acker's Music just became a YouTube member. Ulf is back. Just to be clear, AI is not the only tool I've used for research. It's just another tool to use in conjunction with others.
Oh, hi. Well, welcome back, Ulf. Yeah, I mean, Ulf, I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot of confidence in your abilities. And I think you can do it. And I think by you doing it, you will allow like all that creativity to like come through you into your project. I just don't think you need it. And I think you're gonna get a lot more information, and we'll be able to see more of you come into your project, which is what we're here for. I mean, that's what we need from filmmakers. So don't pawn it off. I have a lot of confidence in what you can find and do.
All right. Andrew Pennis for 2. Hi, Justine. You're a beautiful actress. Do Avatar 4.
Well, thanks. But I'm not an actress, just a filmmaker. And I think we should do no more sequels.
I love what you tweet when you say make something new.
Films.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
new films. Oh my god, that's so great when you do that.
Wes RM 999 for 999. What Justine said about Hollywood used to make what was needed. I feel like our society needs good comedies and real period pieces, not movies with 20-25 people dressed in period costumes. Thanks.
Well, Wes, I'm going to call you Wes. I couldn't agree more. Nothing. I find there's nothing more annoying to me than anachronistic films. Anachronistic dialogue, anachronistic being like outside of that time, right? Anachronistic dialogue, anachronistic behavior, anachronistic clothes, anachronistic feel of the whole thing. Oh my God, I could tell you so many films that are like period films that have come out in the last 5 years, and I'm just like, yeah. I don't think a black man in that part of the world would be sitting like that in a chair, talking to those other people with that kind of tone. I don't think so. I mean, look, one filmmaker that I will completely exempt from this is Quentin Tarantino, because it's a very specific and very forceful stylistic choice that he's making. So that's not what I'm talking about. But there's other films where I'm like, it just takes me out of it completely emotionally. Whereas you take something like, I'll give you an example of this. In Age of Innocence, Scorsese film, right? They built up so much like what kind of, where you could sit in relation to the opposite sex, who you could talk to, how you could gesture, what you could wear, all of this, to the point where when I think they're in a carriage or something and she and Daniel Day-Lewis like touch hands, as an audience, you're going, oh my God, because they built in all these things that were true of that time. Whereas if you don't do all of that and your language is modern day and your gestures and your behavior and everything are modern day, then you have a moment like that and it just means nothing. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I have something that's coming up that we're casting now that I can't quite talk about yet, but and that's very important to me in that, because that is a period film, and I really want the audience to be in that time. You know, I don't want them to be in 2025 looking at the film. I want them to like feel like they're in that back then.
All right, David S. Mart, or David Smart Jr. for 2 super sticker. Justin Young for 5. I got here late. Where is Credo 23 Film Festival being held? Are you back at the American Legion?
Yeah, and if you guys are in LA, or even if you're not, and you're going to fly out here for the festival, we had a lot of people fly out for the festival last year. It was great. It's this incredible building that is on Highland. It's just up the street from where they have the Academy Awards, by the way, and just down the street from the Hollywood Bowl. And this is the American Legion Hall, so it's for veterans, and it was built in 1919. It's a fantastic building that has this incredible 460. You would never expect that there's a 460 seat, beautiful theater in the back of this building. So we're very lucky to be there. It's a great place for events. Yeah. So LA, end of March.
Hey.
All right. Mad Film again. 5. Distribution is a huge challenge now. You could make the best film, but it'll get lost on streaming unless you're a name. Why I'm open to YouTube now.
Yeah. YouTube is the #1 streaming service.
Yeah. I mean, but wow, there's a lot of users on YouTube and a lot of channels on YouTube. I'd be curious to hear how somebody manages to get the eyeballs to their particular. I don't spend much time on YouTube, so I'd be curious how someone, it's funny. It's like distribution has never been easier in a sense, right? I mean, in the past, like you couldn't just like hit a button and have, international distribution, but now you can. But now the trouble is, how do you get people to come spend time there?
Joe Pat, For 199, it's the Windows dummy needs to be a thing.
Yeah, for the film theater
Release window.
Although, yeah.
exhibition window. It's true. I'm like shocked when people go like, I don't know, what are we going to do about this and that? It's like, oh my God, just insist that your film stays in the theater for longer, especially when it's making money and then they pull it. Or they pull it to put it on streaming, you know?
Sean Loud at Sis for 50. Hey,
That's
thank
a
you.
real super sticker. Sean, you need to come get a physical sticker at the festival.
All right, Anon for 10. Justine, the realist reason Hollywood is dead is because the illusion is broken and no longer holds sway. Hollywood is dead because nobody wants to be lectured on morality by pedos.
Okay.
Well, I know there are a lot of really good people that work in the film business. I will tell you. I mean, I'm sure there are pedophiles sprinkled into every industry, especially schools, because that's where the little kids are, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. You go where the gold miner goes, where the gold is. Yeah, I don't know to answer to that. You know, I don't know any. There are a lot of really good people in the film industry. I mean, the illusion being broken. I mean, definitely nobody wants to be lectured. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, nobody wants to be lectured like that. And I think, you know, I think it's worn on people, you know, over the last like 4 to 8 years, especially. It's really worn down. Wherever they sit politically, it doesn't matter, but just to be like, to have it. And the shame of it is like I don't know why so many filmmakers like suddenly decided that they were going to be, you know, sort of an infomercial for a certain cause or something. When in fact, the film industry has been talking about different causes endlessly, you know, Silkwood, Born on the 4th of July, Boys Don't Cry. I mean, there's so many films that are about causes, if you will, but they were more so like, this is the area we're focusing on and we're going to make a really great film. And I think that's where it's lost. Like, it's somehow they thought, you know, these two things were mutually exclusive, or not mutually exclusive, but I'm going to make some film about some fill in the blank box checking topic. And so I don't have to make it a really great film. That's what is unacceptable to me. Yeah.
Alan?
Joe Pat for 999. Cinema is turning obsolete. Their economics getting as thin and tight as the logistics of live theater, and it really shouldn't.
Well, you know, part of the problem is, like we were saying about that exhibition window, if you're not going to leave it in the theater long enough for it to really make some money, you know, then you're just going to put it on streaming, kind of gets lost, and you're not getting residuals, really. It was for some lump sum. It's a buyout, you know, a lot of these situations are just buyouts and there's no residuals. But all these things we've been talking about contribute to, I don't know if it's obsolete yet, but it contributes to that possibility. I mean, if we were like, okay, you guys saw Minecraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was a super fun movie. I'm not surprised it made $1 billion. I mean, I didn't think there was any box checking. I don't feel like they were trying to teach me a lesson or anything. It was just a lot of fun. And not that every film needs to be like some fun adventure comedy, but like, come on, let's bring some of those back in, for crying out loud. Yeah, and I don't know about the studios. I mean, filmmaking is still going to happen because every year filmmakers are born, like doctors are born, and polyglots are born, and linguists, and and chefs, and that's never going to stop. But the financial structure of being that supports making a living in this business is not happening, and for all the reasons I said earlier. They've kind of abandoned. To chase the tech model is just foolish, because that's you've got investors. It's an entirely different arrangement, and you're trying to scale, and yeah. All right, what's the next one?
All right, KJS, what happened for 20? Justine, did you ever know good actors that left the business due to the satanic side of Hollywood? Thanks.
Well, again,
KJS.
What do I call them? KJ. You've got, let's just say, the satanic side, the evil side, and is everywhere. It's not. It's in every industry, everywhere. It's ego, it's fear, it's greed, it's insecurity that can turn itself into all these other things. I know. I mean, there are a lot of people that leave the business for the reasons we were saying earlier. It's like just financially, they just can't make it anymore. And there are others that unfortunately were taken advantage of by some people that were either in the business, or there's a lot of people that are sort of on the fringes of the business too. There's a lot of people that I don't consider to be in the business. They're just fringe dwellers. They're the sperm trying to get into the egg. You've seen the footage of that, right?
Yeah.
Get into the egg.
Yeah.
They're not really in the business. And unfortunately, others can be taken advantage by them. But that's true of any industry. You just hear about it in our industry because it's a shiny object. But yeah, most of the time people will leave the business because they just can't afford to be in it anymore.
All right. FY 90s for 2. Big fan of your movie Satisfaction. Can you still sing?
I tell you, I can sing to the extent I could sing then, which was garage band level. I did not get that gifting. I mean, when somebody opens their mouth, starts singing, I can really sing. I mean, it's stunning, isn't it? It's like they've got this, like a real instrument in their neck. But, thank you for the compliment. I was just, at that time, just an actress playing a singer, but I'm not a singer. Also guitarist. And also Steve Cropper was our musical director in that film. And R.I.P. He was a great guy.
All right. Sean Lautzis became a YouTube member. And for Matthew Hammond for 3 over on Rumble, why are people in movies and TV always looking to defy expectations? If you want to defy expectations in 2025, then do what people expect.
So, okay, Matthew, does this mean like
subverting expectations?
Subverting, like
not going down the regular path of a story.
Because I see defy expectations. I just think of some marketing statement somebody's made. This is unprecedented. We're defying expectations. So not giving you what you want, giving you the end, just ending a film without ending it, without giving you an ending like that, just to be different, just to be contrary. I think a lot of times these things happen, Matthew. Maybe after the fact they could say, look, I defied expectations, but the truth is they just didn't make a good movie. Sometimes they're just not good.
And a last comment here. Justine, you're a gem. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, I want to thank you
Nice
for
of
all
you.
you do. You are an inspiration on your X feed and in other interviews I've seen you do. You're amazing. We support Credo 23. I want to remind people about the festival, credo23filmfest.com. You can get a badge. You can enter your film. You can attend. The American Legion Hall where it's held is just the vibe is so cool. This year you're doing panels and There's it's awesome. So I want to have an offline conversation about sponsorships.
Okay.
We could be able to help, but I also want to let you know about our event, Award This.
Right.
We do once a year. We review almost 2,000 little indie movies a year on the Film Threat website. We award them. We have like 22 categories by genre. In Santa Ana, California, at the Frida Cinema, we do an award ceremony. It's going to be a lot of fun. Justine, if you would go to this, would you present a few awards?
Yes, you've already asked me, and of course, I said yes without hesitating. And then you told me the location, and I was like,
"It's so fun."
But I'm gonna come for you guys. I'm coming, of course, I'm coming.
Awesome. So, breaking news: Justine will be at Award This, and then we will be at Credo 23. I think Credo is such a great idea. I think there's so much. I know you're teasing an announcement about it. When you can, let us know.
Yes.
But
and I want to tell everyone, look, I've been to a lot of film festivals as a filmmaker and as an attendee rather. And some of the things we do here is like when you buy a badge, usually you get a badge and then you have to buy tickets to separate films, right? And you may not get tickets to some of the films that you wanted to see. Also the films, and they have to do, if you accept 300 films, you've got to have a bunch of different theaters that you're going to have it in, right? So you've got a bunch of stuff that's playing at the same time, or there's a panel over here, but there's a movie you all really want to see, and you have to make all these choices. Credo 23 Film Festival is completely linear. If you get a badge, you have a seat for everything. Nothing's happening simultaneous to what's going on in the theater. So it's all in this one location, so everybody can hang out and get to know each other. Like so many of the reviews we got after the film festival was like, oh my God, I just loved hanging out with everybody for 2.5 days. To get to know everyone. Like a lot of people made great connections. So it's in one place. You're not gonna miss anything. And this place has like a lounge area. We have a bar. We have a happy hour where everybody gets together. Each of the festival days. We have an opening nights, reception, and there's a billiard room. You can shoot pool. Like it's just a great place to just 2.5 days. You just talk about film, watch really good films, see presentations by really well-known filmmakers. And it's just that, like, there's a tunnel through what's happening. There's a tunnel through what's happening. And this is part of that.
Justine, thank you for being on the show. We'll talk. I'll pop you an email and we'll discuss. And then thank you. Just what you do. You are outspoken. I think you've emboldened other people to speak out about what's happening in the industry. And I just appreciate everything you do. And I know our audience, sometimes you say something, you make news with what you say, and you're a positive influence. And that's very much
so much, and we're so glad to have Film Threat involved in the Credo 23 Film Festival. One of my favorite things is when I use a term like AI is a blender, and your prompt is a Frankenstein spoonful. It's so great to see it in print, or people tweeting, or in like some media article or something, where they're not even quoting me. They're just using it as a standard term. And I'm like, yes. It's like getting in the dictionary, getting some word you made up in the dictionary. And I will do everything I can. And this is something I did right when generative AI started coming out, like 2.5 years ago. I was like, no fucking way is this going to become a sacred cow, like so many of these other things that have been in our society where like you can't talk about it or your career's over. I was like, right now, I'm going to start talking about how fucking stupid all this shit is. So it never becomes a sacred cow. And I think myself and others, I think we've accomplished that.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
You too.
And we'll talk. And thank you. I know our audience loves you. You have a lot of fans here.
Oh, thank you
Just
so
so you
much.
know.
It's great what you guys do. I'm really happy Film Threat exists.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Take care, Justine. See
Okay,
you
bye
soon.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. She's amazing.
Yeah,
Great.
that was amazing.
That was great. We got to wrap up the show. I want to say thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to Atomic Lordy. Oh, here we go. Matthew Hammond, the world is better with Justine.
Yeah, there
in
you
it.
go.
Matthew Hammond. There we go. And thanks to our mod, Lord Thoth, MK Solid. We'll be back on Friday with our normal reviews. And Alan, you know
Dust
what
bunnies.
to do. What?
Dust bunnies.
Dust bunnies. And okay. And we'll talk to you. We'll see you. Alan, you have to say it.
Yeah, let's get out of here.